So it's official. The most heartbreaking news for Indiana Fever fans that could come of the season, but Caitlin Clark will not be returning to the 2025 WNBA season.
Caitlin Clark officially done for the season. Officially done for the season.
No spin, no hiding. Fever fans finally got the gut punch in plain words. Caitlin Clark is done for the season. And this time, it didn't come from some front office leak or vague day-to-day tag. It came from Clark herself. She owned it. She put it out there, thanked the fans, admitted how hard she pushed, and said the fight's over for now. That's why this is different. Fans aren't just sad she's out. They're heated about how it was handled. Weeks of mystery updates. Coaches playing the we'll see after the road trip game. Front office trying to spin hope instead of telling the truth. It dragged on until Clark herself cut through the noise. And here's the sting. This isn't a rookie talking. Year 2, the face of the franchise, the engine of the offense, the reason the Fever are even on prime time half the time. Gone. No backup plan, no easy fix. The Fever lost their top scorer and passer in one shot. That's survival mode. Fans feel lied to. They wanted clarity, not mixed messages. Clark gave it to them in one post. That honesty mattered more than any team statement ever could. Now it's simple. Fever has to grind it out without her. No excuses, no sugarcoating. Just finish the season and protect the future.
Posting it herself because there were many people asking to hear from Caitlin Clark, to hear how she felt about the entire situation, because a lot of people felt like it was the front office that was kind of making all of these decisions. But she did end up taking to Twitter and posting this. She also posted on Instagram, so if anybody is on Instagram, you can check yourself. But she put, "I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. I want to thank everyone who had my back through all of this uncertainty. This has been incredibly frustrating, but even in the bad, there is good. The way the fans continue to show up for me and for the Fever brought me so much joy and important perspective. I am so proud of how this team has only gotten stronger through adversity this year. Now is the time to close out the season and claim our spot in the playoff."
Caitlin Clark finally said what everyone had been tiptoeing around. Her season's done. No cryptic injury report, no sources say, no coach hiding behind cliches. Just Clark, in her own words, thanking fans and admitting the grind caught up with her. It was different because fans had been sold hope. Clips of her jogging at practice, light shooting, a few smiles during warm-ups. It all looked like progress. But that's the cruel trick of a bone bruise and groin issue. One day you feel ready. The next you can't even cut without wincing. Those injuries tease you, then betray you. And this time, the clock won. The Fever didn't help themselves either. We'll evaluate. She's close. Day to day. Those phrases sound safe, but they're just stall tactics. Fans wanted straight answers. Instead, they got silent until Clark broke it herself. And that's the part that stings. Not just losing their best playmaker, but realizing she had to. Be the one to deliver the truth.
The WNBA ratings' worst nightmare just came true because it was just announced that Caitlin Clark will be out for the rest of the season. She's only played 13 games this season, and her most recent injury, which happened back in July, was a groin injury. The craziest part about all of this has been the reporting around her injury. The team has never given her a timetable for return, and literally up until today, the team had been reporting that she was still trying to get back on the court this season. The Fever only have 3 regular season games left in the season before playoffs. Some fans were even speculating that they've just been stringing fans along the whole time because they know that ratings and attendance would drop once they announced that she's out, which is also so ironic that they announced it the day that football season starts. Anyway, this is not only a huge blow for the Fever, but also for the entire WNBA. Caitlin was out with an injury back in June. Viewership dropped over 50% across the league. That's the kind of effect that she has on things. And it seems like from her post and how they announced it, Caitlyn was the one that was trying so hard to get back on the court. She has traveled to every single away game. She's always meeting with fans, taking photos, signing autographs, doing all of the things because she knows how many people come out specifically to see her. But I'm really interested to see what viewership and attendance looks like now that it's official that she's done. The hope is gone. Sending my best to Caitlyn. I have no doubts that she will be back stronger than ever, hopefully next season.
The Caitlin Clark news finally dropped, and it wasn't a leak or a source close to the team whisper. It came straight from her. A clear, measured post where she said what fans had been fearing. Her season's done. No mystery, no hinting, no coy, we'll see. Just her voice, owning it, thanking supporters, and talking about how hard she fought to get back. That matters. Because for weeks, Fever fans were stuck in limbo, squinting at practice clips, analyzing shoot-arounds, and clinging to words like day-to-day or evaluating. When she spoke, it cut through the fog. But now reality kicks in. No Clark, no top scorer, no top passer, no face of the franchise on the floor. So, what does it actually mean when the Fever tip off without her? It means the whole system shifts. Start with Aaliyah Boston. The former Rookie of the Year doesn't just need to be good, she needs to dominate. Her deep seals are a cheat code. When she carves out space inside and gets touches early, defenses collapse. That force doubles, and suddenly shooters are open. But Boston can't play soft. This isn't about baby hooks. It's about going through chests, finishing through contact, and setting a physical tone. If she does that, the entire game bends around her. Kelsey Mitchell is the next domino. She's third in the league in scoring for a reason, but her problem has always been whistle inconsistency. Some nights she lives at the line, other nights she gets hacked with no call. That can't rattle her. The adjustment is about pace, mixing speeds, extending the dribble, and making defenders commit before she lifts. If the pull-up's there, take it. If the big steps, float it. If the weak side ball watches, skip it and let a shooter eat. Simple reads, deadly results. Then there's Odyssey Sims. Her arrival gave this team a real point guard heartbeat. It's not always pretty basketball. Her spacing decisions can be chaotic, but it's winning basketball. Late clock drives, fearless shot making, and energy that says, we're not folding. That's something this team has lacked in crunch moments. With Clark gone, Sims becomes the fearless driver of their offense. Lexi Hull deserves flowers too. She's not flashy, she's not a headline, but she's grit personified. 2 black eyes and still flying after rebounds like her contract depends on it. Hull's not dropping 25, but one offensive board can lead to a second chance 3, and 3 points can flip an ugly game. That's the math nobody sees in highlight reels. Sophie Cunningham's role matters more than people think. When she's out, the Fever loses edge and spacing. She stretches corners, chirps, yells, and forces tempo. You may roll your eyes, but check the plus-minus with her on the floor. The balance changes. Natasha Howard, meanwhile, is the steady vet. She won't wow you with box score explosions every night, but her mid-post touches and defensive instincts tilt momentum. The coaching staff has to feature her earlier, not remember she exists halfway through the third quarter. Even the bench rotation is critical. Michaela Tempson has been stuck in stop-and-go minutes, which is brutal for young bigs. They need rhythm, and rhythm comes with trust. 5 clean minutes of hard screens, rim rolls, and solid wall-ups can change momentum. Not every bench piece has to be a heat check scorer. Sometimes the best shift is mistake-free basketball. But the Fever's story isn't just X's and O's. It's the narrative swirling around them. Fans have been screaming about protection, or the lack of it, for Clark all season. Every hit to the head, every push to the floor, every swallowed whistle built frustration. Not every foul was dirty, but enough were reckless to become a pattern. And when that pattern centers around the league's most visible star, it's impossible to ignore. The league doesn't need to give Clark special treatment. It needs to set a consistent standard. Protecting heads, landing space, and movement freedom isn't favoritism. It's baseline safety. If the WNBA wants stars on the floor, refs can't keep missing those calls. Period. So what now? For the Fever, it's survival mode. For Boston, it's about dominance. For Mitchell, it's about control. For Sims, it's about fearlessness. For Hull, it's about hustle. And for the team as a whole, it's about proving they can stay afloat without the player who put them on every highlight reel this season. Clark shutting it down isn't quitting. It's math. Injuries don't care about pride. And sometimes, the hardest decision is the right one. But don't get it twisted. Her absence doesn't shrink her presence. Every Fever game from here out will still be played under her shadow. Because when Caitlin Clark speaks, when she sits, when she waves the season off, it still shakes the entire league. Long-term health beats a few regular season games and a maybe in the playoffs. Caitlin Clark is 23. The Fever needed 5 strong years of her at full speed, not 5 rushed quarters at 70%. That's calculus. Shut it down now so it doesn't happen again later. Her job is to rest and rebuild. The team's job is to make sure this is the last long shutdown of her prime, not the first of many. That means smarter workloads, better strength programs, and a front office that builds real depth. Injuries can't be controlled, but preparation can. A contender isn't built on one superstar carrying the weight. It's built on a 9th, 10th, and 11th player who can step in without looking lost. Find switchable defenders who don't foul every third possession. Find shooters who can hit without pounding the air out of the ball. Find a backup point guard who values every possession in crunch time. Not glamorous, just winning basketball. And no, this isn't a funeral. The Fever can still win ugly. They've already proven it. They've beaten stronger rosters by forcing turnovers, getting to the line, and stealing momentum through hustle. That formula doesn't require logo threes. It requires focus, physicality, and keeping turnovers under 12. If they do that and win the rebounding battle by even 2 or 3 boards, they'll have chances late in games. At that point, it comes down to who makes the last 2 shots and the last 2 stops. Fans deserve space to be frustrated. They bought tickets, cleared nights, wore jerseys, and circled Clark's possible return on calendars. That expectation hurts. Be mad today, then show up tomorrow. Because this roster feels the crowd even if they don't say it. Empty seats never helped anyone get a stop with 40 seconds left. Now, about the narrative. Did the Fever string fans along? Maybe. Or maybe Clark truly tried to push it across the line and her body said no. That's how rehab works. It's a land of almost. Almost ready. Almost back. Until a test rep flares up pain and the calendar wins. Trainers hate hard. Deadlines for this very reason. Hope is dangerous. Still, the club could have avoided the noise with one line. No timetable. Health first. That would have been enough. So what's the on-court plan without her? Start simple. First touch of every game goes to Aaliyah Boston. Get her a deep seal, let her go through contact. If the double comes, the reads are ready. Baseline skip to Lexi Hull, slot swing to Kelsey Mitchell, or a high-low to Natasha Howard. Sneaking behind. Make it automatic. Second action. Spain, pick and roll. Odyssey Sims handles, Boston rolls, a guard sets the back screen on the big. It's basic, repeatable, and punishes defenses that overhelp. Third source of points, early offense threes, trail threes, drag screens, shooters sprinting to spots. Aerial powers can be huge here. If she hits 2 in the first half, defenders hug tighter, and suddenly Boston's angles get easier. Defense decides this stretch. The Fever can't bleed straight line drives. That means stance over swipes, chest over reach. First defenders must hold ground, or else rotations break down and corner shooters feast. Everyone's tired of hearing, "We didn't communicate" in post games. Solve it at the point of attack. In crunch time, the map is clear. Sims with the ball, Boston screening, Mitchell lifting weak side. 4 reads, all clean. If the defender goes under, Sims shoots. If they chase, she turns the corner. If the big shows, slip to Boston. If help tags, kick to Kelsey. Simple, decisive, repeatable. What kills teams isn't the defense, it's indecision. Fatigue management matters too. Heavy minutes are already showing up in front rim jumpers and missed free throws. The fix: trim the playbook, shorten reads, and sub with intent. 90 seconds from a bench player before a media timeout can buy starters 3 extra minutes of real rest. Use it. And no, the season isn't cursed. It's basketball. Some years bless you, some years humble you. Smart teams use the humbling year to fix holes. This one exposed the Fever's needs: a sturdier secondary ball handler, more true size on the glass, and wings who can hit 36% from deep without demanding rhythm touches. Write it down. Go get it. Clark's absence means the WNBA loses its showstopper for the stretch run, but it also means she gets a clean runway to return at full blast in 2026, and that's good for everyone. The league is better when its stars are explosive, not limping. Fans deserve the best version of the product, and players deserve smarter workloads to make it possible. Next year, expect real adjustments, tighter minute plans, smarter travel choices, and carefully timed rest days. That's not being soft, it's investment. And let's be real about the timeline chatter. Some folks say Clark should have forced it for a playoff push. That's how careers get shortened. That's how off-seasons turn into rehab marathons instead of skill growth. Clark made the grown-up call, and it deserves respect. For Indiana, the road now is clear: defense, tempo control, and mistake-free basketball. Forget fireworks. Win 83-80 and smile. Banners don't list style points. That's the reality of the moment. Clean message from the star, messy messaging from the front office, and a team still alive if it leans on toughness and simple execution. Now comes playoff math. Without Clark, the Fever can't wait around for a 25-point eruption to flip a game. They need the right matchup. The dream draw? Atlanta. The streaky team lives off jumpers, and if Boston owns the paint, Indiana has a real edge. The nightmare? Las Vegas. The Aces turn 3 bad possessions into a 12-point hole before you can blink. That's a mountain the Fever can't climb without their star. And then there are the fans. Let's give credit where it's due. This team doesn't survive the grind without packed houses. Even on ugly nights, missed shots, sloppy turnovers, the building stayed alive. That energy mattered. Young players don't fold as quickly when the crowd keeps clapping through the lows. Clark's absence is a gut punch, but the fan base has been the glue. These last games aren't just about standings. They're about proving Fever Nation doesn't dip when the star is in street clothes. As for the front office, the homework is obvious. Build a real bench. Add a shooter who doesn't hesitate. Sign a defensive wing who can switch across 3 spots without breaking. And above all, protect Clark next season with better spacing and smarter rotations. This season ends with disappointment, no doubt. But if lessons are learned, it becomes the foundation for something bigger. Caitlin Clark sitting now might just be the move that gives Indiana its best shot at lifting a trophy later.